All right. Welcome to Positive Waves. My name is Matthew Collinson, and this is my great friend.
I'm Joseph Soma.
And today, some things have come up, and a lot of people have been having a hard time around me that I know of, including myself. So I'm including myself here. But the key is
Self-control was the word
discussion on
your
self
friend.
control. All right. So since I was lacking self control there, uh, we are going to talk about self-control today. And self-control shows up in a lot of areas of our lives, especially when it gets hard. My friend was asking about self-control and what we can do to control ourselves, especially when things are going wrong. And so my thought is that we develop habits every day. These habits can build us or tear us down. We know this. This is something we've talked about over and over again. So, number one, I think for self-control is developing. How do you develop a habit? I think is a good piece of this. We can control a certain aspect of our life, but things are going to continually come at us too. So then how do we approach that perspective?
Well, with your second one there, I mean, in the thought of manifesting and all of that, yeah, you're supposed to be able to control things. But when it's outside sources affecting you, really all you can control is your emotion towards it, how you feel towards it. And like you said at the beginning of this call, there's just been a lot of shit energy going on, a lot of down in the dumps kind of questioning self. For me, I just tell people it's sort of like a depression. It's not the same as what I'm used to. So for me, this is new territory. Figuring out what I'm meant to do, what's going on, and I'll tell you this till I'm blue in the face. I am so grateful that I have learned so many tools to help me through things, because this is something that could be a whole lot worse. And because of the tools I've gathered, because of the self-awareness, because of learning self-control in some areas, practicing in others, it's been a little bit easier to maneuver through these energies. And like you said, your friend was, or you've had a few people come to you about the things going on and worlds falling apart. And I've gotten the same calls. Like yesterday, after talking to you about some of what I'm working through, I received probably about 4 different messages, and I had a couple different phone calls about what others are going through. And in a sense, I feel blessed. I'm not going through things as rough as others are going through them. And I think a lot of that is because of my tools, because I've learned how to not let these energies control my emotions. And just a saying not many people like, let it go and let it flow. A lot of people don't comprehend what that is. And well, it is face value. Let it go. Don't hold on to that emotion. Like I told you, feeling depressed, I'm doing my best not to hold on to it. And there are moments where it's difficult. It feels like it's glued to me in a sense, but it's that attachment. It's that holding on. It's that being stuck in the thought of, what am I doing wrong? Why can't I be better? Why can't I do better? Why isn't this happening for me? I've worked so many years, like whatever that may be for you. For me, that was some of them that I've said to myself. But just realizing that I'm falling out of alignment in some places. I'm not balanced in some places. I've used the last few months to chase my own personal goals and dreams and make things happen. And I've more or less been like that magnet where your 2 same poles are pushing against each other, and you're not making any progress. You're just, that dream's right there. You see it. You're just pushing it away from you as you continue trying to run towards it, or for it. But realizing that I'm not obtaining it, I'm not getting anywhere, started burning myself out. And this was said, I think, on a different call. But I realized I need to slow down. I need to enjoy this moment. I need to enjoy this day. And I know not a lot of people can just stop in the middle of the day and go for a walk or go for a bike ride. But if you can, do it. If you can't do it during the day, wake up half hour early. go and just sit outside and enjoy, or get out of work and muster up a little more strength for, from that long day you worked, and get outside and just enjoy being in that sun or just being in nature. But for the whole self-control aspect, you have to determine what you want. What do you want? And no matter how difficult it is to hold that vision or that thought or whatever that may be with you, do your best to do so. Because if you let other things start controlling your emotions, that's where you lose your self-control, and things can very quickly, very easily spiral into an even shittier situation. So the tools I have, I think, have really helped me maintain that self-control to not let me spiral, as far as others have been, and from what I've been hearing. So I'm grateful for where I am in life and being able to talk to others about this and just get personal with life and be vulnerable with what's going on. And it sucks, and a lot of us are going through it.
Yeah. You brought up a ton of good points there. Number one, have tools in your toolbox to know how to shift your perception, shift your attitude, shift your chemicals, even, as it were, because that's what you're inherently doing when you're looking at that. And I think that's super important to know your tools. Some people, it's like, if you sit down and watch the TV, you know already, because that's what most of us do. And I know I'm guilty of this one with me and my wife. Will just sit down and just start watching TV. And then before we know it, 4 hours have gone by, and we know we're just covering up at that point. I mean, really, like, you don't need to be watching TV. And that's one of my goals this year, is to really start to edge down on the TV watching and really kind of back off quite a bit. I know some people are already there on my network face. All right, cool for you, man. Like, that's great. Yeah, I think that's awesome, because it would give me a little bit more time to do all these other things that I've been doing. However, I also think it's important, and something that you mentioned is the habit part, which, again, I know I brought up at the beginning there, but those habits, man, like, whatever we do every day is going to affect us. Like this morning, I woke up, as soon as I actually became conscious that I was awake, like, I just started saying, I am grateful, I am grateful, I am grateful in my head, like, over and over again. I didn't want to say it out loud because my wife was right next to me, of course, so that'd be mean. But I did keep repeating it in my head. And then I got up and I did run this morning with my wife. We both got up. We didn't want to at all, but we were like, let's go.
That's how my morning routine was the past few, I'm forcing myself to do it, knowing that I will feel better if I get through it. But there have been mornings where I was like, what, screw it. I'm just going to sit here and be a lump on the couch. And I may not watch TV much at all, but I do have that cell phone, social media, and scrolling through, doing meaningless tasks instead of stuff that will benefit my future.
Yeah, one of the books, in fact, last week or the other week when Sarad was on, the CEO of Stretchio, everybody, if you haven't checked out that episode, go check out the Stretchio episode. It's really cool. Help you with your daily habits as well. But he was mentioning, and I was mentioning the 5 a.m. club, and we were talking about how, like, when we're doing these habits, it gets to that suck point where it just, like, really sucks, and you just don't want to, even though you know it'll be good for you. And then I was also listening to a Brendon Burchard motivational podcast thing that he did that's on Spotify. I'll share that in the description. And he was talking about how, yeah, it can suck like that when you're doing these habits, but you'll be worse off if you don't do the habits as well. Like, I know I feel a lot worse if I don't do, like, a run or yoga session or something that activates my, everything, my body.
Right. It's like that vibration just plummets.
Mm-hmm. It's like, I think I'm tired now. I'd be much more tired then.
Right. I know, like, for me, I do a lot of stretching and yoga like stuff for the physical ouchies I have. And if I don't do them, my day has a lot more suck to it than it should have, because I chose to be lazy or, fall off that day or whatever, that excuse may be. But I know when I do it, no matter how much it sucked pushing myself through. I know that I still feel better. My vibe is higher. I'm not as miserable in that pain or that shit emotion. And yeah, it makes the day go good.
I agree. It's so crazy. I think another thing is sleep, like with people for sleep, like we need it. Like it's a have to in our worlds. We need to rest and our bodies need that certain level of rest. And that's like hard to come by these days for most people. I feel like my kids struggle with it. I used to struggle with it. I don't so much anymore. I can get to bed pretty like I'll go to bed pretty early, but the problem is I'll stay up for hours thinking or doing whatever.
Yep.
I mean, not on electronics most of the time or anything. I'll be reading or I'll do something, but I'll still be up. Like even me and my wife will be talking or something like that happens, conversations. So it's like it'll still take me hours to go to sleep, and then I'm not actually getting a full night's sleep like I think I am.
No, I've been struggling for a while, and I've read all sorts of research that talk about how just people that start hitting 40 and above, they naturally get crappier sleep. And for like, I don't know, almost 2 years probably now, I've been on this mission to find out how I can get more deep sleep. I have no repeatable results yet, but I am still trying to figure it out. So I mean, deep sleep is where the body heals. REM sleep is where you have the rapid eye movement, but that's where a lot of your dream state is. But my goal is the deep sleep because I know, like on my little monitor thing, the days that my deep sleep is only like 18 minutes. Those days are a lot more painful than the days where I say may have 59 minutes of deep sleep. Me getting over an hour and a half of deep sleep in a night is a very rare occasion. I very rarely hit an hour and a half, to be honest with you. So it's one of those things where sleep is definitely a big factor. And a lot of that is what did you last eat and how long was it before bed? Are you consuming sugary products before bed? Like I got sweet teeth. I don't have a sweet tooth. I have sweet teeth. I love my sugary stuff. So if I'm sitting there eating some Oreo cookies or something and then about to go to bed, like I just screwed myself. Chalk me up for another 3 hours of awake time, On top of that, your metabolism, if you eat, 3 to 4 hours before bed, your metabolism's still functioning. And it's pivotal to wait those 3-4 hours and then go to bed because you will get better sleep because your body's not working to metabolize all the food you ate. So yeah, sleep is a big factor and a lot plays a role into the quality of sleep you get.
Yep. And that's what I'm trying to really wrap my kids' heads around is the whole keeping your cell phone away from your head, preferably in another room, but most of us use it as an alarm now. So it's kind of moot at that point. So it's like, all right, well, at least keep it like across the room or on a desk or something like that so that it's away from your head specifically. Because I was just watching this, it must have been a short or a reel or something, but they were testing the electromet like with your head, like just on one of the basic like little meter things that we all have for our houses and stuff. And like, it would be a shooting charge, like when you have the cell phone next to your head as opposed to away from it, which is insane to think about. Like, think about how often we keep these things near our faces. Like, and it's the same with laptops. It's the same with every other electronic. That's also why they say like no electronics before like a couple hours or a few hours also before bed is another key piece. But also keep, like, I know Mel Robbins was big on keeping it out of your room altogether, which is smart when you can. I just don't have that function or space yet.
Right. There's a stone that's supposed to help with it, and I'm struggling to remember the name, but it's this one right here. Probably won't show on the screen. Oh, it does. It's a little black stone.
Or obsidian?
No, it's one of the tights. TIT ends with that. Shungite or something. I could be wrong on that, but it's supposed to help with the electromagnetic frequencies. And if you're around devices a lot, the stone is supposed to help keep those away. So I actually have this stone by my phone at night as I sleep to kind of be that deterrent. Whether it works or not, I can't say for sure. I don't have meters or anything like in the reel you saw, but it's one of those things that may be beneficial.
Yeah. I like, yeah, stone and grounding yourself with the earth is also a piece of all that. If we're going to talk about like the big stone of our lives, which is our planet,
Shungite, Shungite.
you have to send that one to me. I'm not sure.
Yeah, we can throw that in the link too on the video. But yeah, I keep one in my pocket because it's always close to my cell phone. So it's, that radiation and stuff. I think that's part of why some of my hip problems I have or muscle issues, because that device is constantly sending that electro charge into the body, whether it's there or not.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of technology surrounding that right now. I know there's bracelet ones you can get and neck ones you can get. Like there's all kinds of things you can do to improve your overall surroundings. Like that, though, it's very all the same thing as far as I'm concerned. Like it's all shifting the energy in a different direction. But I think everything can do that inherently, including yourself, by the way, people. So first we have to shift our own energies. That starts within. And then we're an electromagnet, so everything else kind of comes to you, as it were. And we have to figure out what to do with the self-control piece. So I feel like, as far as self-control goes, get your habits under control, get some good sleep, really think about what you want so that you can continue to kind of focus on something in your life, whatever that is, so that you don't spiral with the negative thoughts, I think is kind of a big piece of this whole conversation. I know there's a lot more to self-control.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely add some more. So we could revisit another day, but I don't know the contents of what self-control he was seeking. Like if he's or she, if the person you're speaking of was like self-control over addictions, I mean, that's totally different aspect to it. So some more insight.
We have a couple of addiction experts on our guest list too, so we could always holler at people, see if anyone wants to come and be a guest on our show again. Or if you guys have some advice, please holler at us and we will see if we can get you on the show. It's always fun to meet new people that way.
Absolutely.
So thank you for joining us today. I do want to make one announcement. The Positive Waves community is now open. We are starting to fill up the content now to start getting us kind of going in the direction we're envisioning here. So please come and join us on our Positive Waves community. It is going to be so much fun growing with you guys and sending out that positive wave around the world together.
Amen, brother.
Peace and love, everybody.